Before we start today's episode, I want to remind you all what our mantra is around here, and that is progress over perfection. Progress over perfection, because none of us are perfect. But as long as we're just doing 1% better than yesterday, that's all that matters. And if you had a bad day yesterday, we just do a little bit better today. If you drank yesterday and you didn't mean to or want to, and you did, that's okay. Today is another day. We try to make each day just a little bit better. And before you know it, you will either be alcohol free or be doing or being that thing that you desired or didn't even think that you could do. And that is what we do on this podcast. And so I just wanted to remind you all, progress over perfection. We just take little baby steps every single day to make today a little bit better than yesterday. All right. Today is episode number 26. It's day number 26 of Dry January. How's it going? I'm so glad that you all are still here. You're still listening. And no matter how it's been going, you know what? I'm proud of you. Today, we're going to be talking about the 1110 Mindfulness Method tool. And I'm going to be sharing about how you use it, why you use it, when you use it. All the rest of your questions will be answered today. But if you have not listened to yesterday's episode or watched it on YouTube, episode number 25, please go do that first, because today builds on yesterday. So, like, yesterday's episode is a prerequisite to today's episode, because I talked about the 1 in yesterday's episode. And today we're going to be going over the 10, as well as giving you all of the little details about this tool. So the 1110 mindfulness method. And this is a tool that you just have in your toolbox and you use it. I do want you to use this tool every day. You need to use this tool every day, because it will change your life if you do this. And I have so many more tools to share with you, but this one is definitely, it's very simple, and it doesn't take very long. So let's talk more about it. So remember, the 1 stands for one daily intention and one thing that you're grateful for. Okay, so that's the 1. So what does the 10 stand for? Well, guess what? The 10 stands for 10 minutes of being with your mind. Being with your mind. In other words, being mindful. And I'm going to share different ways that you can be mindful, from easy to hardest. All right. So, how did I come up with this mindfulness tool? Well, as I was on my journey to becoming alcohol free, these are the things that I was doing, and I'm sharing them with you. They worked for me, they've worked for others, they'll work for you too. If you do them and you use them, it will work for you. It's like a construction worker who goes to work and has all his tools with him, his hammer and his drill and things like that. Guess what? He's able to do his job and get the job done. Well, for us, if we use these tools on a daily basis, we will be able to get the job done. We will be able to become our highest self. We'll be able to live our purpose. We'll be able to be our happiest, most fulfilled self. But we got to have these tools, and we got to know how to use them, and we have to use them as well. That is why it's so important for me. It's important for me to teach you how to use these and help you use them on a daily basis. All right. Now, it's not simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. So 1 10. So one thing that you are, a daily intention, one thing that you are grateful for, and then 10 minutes of being with your mind. Now let's talk more about that. Being with your mind. All right. So we're going to become aware of our thoughts. We're going to become aware of our thoughts, what we are thinking every day for 10 minutes. We're just going to become aware. We're going to become an observer. And what are our thoughts? Our thoughts are those silent sentences in our mind. They are our silent sentences in our mind. And that's what we're going to become aware of as we start to observe them. We are giving breath to our thoughts. In other words, think about ourselves. If we don't have breath, then we die. If we don't have breath, then we die. So, what we're doing with our thoughts is we're giving them breath and we are releasing them. We're observing them. We're being non judgmental of them. We're giving them breath and then they can be released instead of keeping them suppressed inside of us. When we keep our thoughts and our feelings suppressed inside of us, I want you to think about a volcano. When a volcano has all that pressure building up and building up and building up inside of it, it all of a sudden, at some point, it will explode from the pressure inside. And I want you to think about that our thoughts and our feelings, if they're not being expressed, or if we're not becoming aware of them, they start to build up and build up and build up inside of us, and eventually they explode in terms of unpleasant emotions, anger, jealousy, depression, anxiety, all of these things that are keeping us stuck and stressed and possibly are the causes of us drinking too much. Well, we are allowing them to breathe. And when we allow them to breathe, guess what happens? It takes this need away, or this feeling away from us that we feel like we have to drink to cope with our life or to escape from our life. Because I don't want that for you. I felt like I had to escape from my life every single day when I came home from work or on the weekends. I just didn't want to be in my life. It was a storyline that I didn't like. I didn't enjoy it. And the way that we can change our storyline is by first becoming aware of our thoughts. And I know that for some of us, or some of you all might be thinking, I don't want to be aware of my thoughts. I didn't want to either. But this is the way that you are going to become alcohol free. It's one of the ways. Okay, it's one of the ways. And it's a quick way. It will help you quickly start to notice the stories that we're telling ourselves as to why we are drinking and feel that we need to drink. Okay, so don't poo-poo on the 1110 mindfulness method until you have tried it for at least 60 days. I want you to try it for at least 60 days. Now, let's talk more about the 10 in the 1110. The 1 is super easy, the 10 a little bit more difficult. Let me share how you can be mindful with your mind for 10 minutes a day, from easy to hard. So let me just give you the list here, and then I'll go back and I'll explain each one a little bit more in depth. All right, you can journal on paper. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way. Then you can do a walking with mindfulness. So, where you're just walking and being mindful. Again, I'm going to come back and explain all of these in just a second. A guided meditation. I think everybody knows what that is. But again, I'm going to come back and explain all these. A walking meditation, guided walking meditation, and a guided meditation where you are just sitting, and then just a mindfulness, a meditation where it's just you, no guided meditation. It's just you alone with quiet. And that I would say is the hardest thing to do. So let me go back and just explain a little bit more about each of these. And then I want to talk to you about when you should be doing and using this tool. Remember, this tool will help you stop drinking, or cut back on your drinking, or create more confidence in your life, or help you start or finish or do the thing that you never thought you could do, or level up at your job, or help your relationships, or help you stop overeating. This tool can help you do all of those things if you use it frequently and the right way. Let me go back and just talk to you a little bit more about the journaling piece. Okay. So let's start there. So, journaling, I used to hate the word journal. I hated the word journal. I was like, I don't want to journal. Don't give me a journal. I'm not going to journal. And I hated the word journal until I heard it explained this way. And do you know how the word journal came about? And don't quote me on this, but this is kind of the story that I heard, is that back in the day, these travelers would journal their journey when they would travel, from east to coming out west. And I mean, I'm talking like a long, long time ago and years and years and years and years ago. And they would journal their journey. And I was like, okay, I like it when you put it that way, because what I had thought of as a journal was where you write down all of your like bad things, all of your negative self-talk and all of the things that you hate about yourself or that you hate about your life, or that the things that your partner did to you, or that your mom or your dad, or how you were treated as a kid. And yeah, that is part of it as well. But it's also this journey that we're on in life. And when I thought about it that way, I just something clicked for me, and I was able to call it journaling after that. So I don't know if that will help you as well, but think about it as where we are just documenting our journey in life. And we are writing down not only the unpleasant thoughts, but the pleasant thoughts, and also memories, and also visualizing the things that we do want for our life. It can be just so much more than a negative dump, you know? It's so much more than that. And we're going to do an episode on going deeper into all of these ways to be with your mind, because this is, if you are strong in this area, in other words, if you build this muscle of being with your mind, your life will change in any way that you want it to. Seriously. So that's journaling. Walking with mindfulness. Okay, I do this every morning when I walk my dogs. I don't have any podcast playing, I don't have any music on. I literally am just with my thoughts, and I'm walking with my dogs, and I'm just noticing my thoughts as I'm noticing nature and the birds. And I see so many hummingbirds, and I just notice the clouds, and I just notice everything around me. And a lot of the times, things that I want to say to you will pop into my head then. I'm just very self aware of the thoughts that are coming in my mind, and I'm not judging them. I'm just being aware of them. I'm just observing them. Think of observing your thoughts like you would observe a baby sleeping. If you have ever had a baby, or if your sister or brother ever had a baby and you're just watching this little baby, or if you have a pet and you're watching them sleep and you're just noticing them breathing in and out. And yeah, that's all we're going to do, is we're just noticing them like a sleeping baby. Even if you have, unpleasant thoughts or anything like that, you're just going to notice them. One thing you have to know is that you are not your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. You're just the observer of your thoughts. You're just observing them. Walking mindfulness is just where you're walking and you're just being mindful. There is also walking guided meditations that you can find on different apps. I'm going to share some of my favorite apps with you all in the near future. But if you want to walk and listen to a guided meditation while you walk, there are walking guided meditations. And I'm also, hint, hint, going to be giving you all some of those as well. So that is where you listen to the voice and it guides you with where you want to take your thoughts. The next thing is a guided meditation. And this is where you would be sitting down comfortably, laying down maybe in your bed, or sitting down in the typical posture that you think of when people meditate. And you are listening to words that are guiding you through a meditation. And then the last one is a meditation where you are just alone with your own thoughts. You're laying or sitting, and you don't have anything in your ears. You're not listening to anything. You are just being aware of your breath and your thoughts, and just listening to what is going on in your head, and you're just being mindful. And if you're going, you know what, that's whether or not you're good at it or you've never tried it or anything like that, I'm going to be sharing more ways to get good at doing all of these different methods of being mindful. So don't worry you don't need to go, if you don't want, you don't have to go and research different ways to learn how to meditate, because I'm going to help you on this podcast. I'm going to teach you all the things that you're going to need to know to become a master meditator. All right. So these are the ways to be with your mind for 10 minutes. I've talked about why you want to do it. I've talked about how you do it. Now let's talk about, I've talked about what you will get from doing this. And now let's talk about when you should do this. And as I mentioned in yesterday's podcast episode, number 25, that I really want you all to get into a habit of doing this either first thing in the morning or in the evening before you go to sleep, because your daily intention, if you do it at nighttime, you're setting your daily intention for the next day. If you're doing it in the morning, you're setting your daily intention for the day. That directs you for the day, for building that new habit, or for helping you stop doing something you don't want to do, or start doing something that you do want to do, or finish doing something that you want to do, or building more confidence. Anyway, you get the point. But there's no right or wrong. Okay, so if you only have time to do it in the middle of the day, then go for it. I would rather you do it in the middle of the day than tell yourself, oh, well, I didn't do it in the morning and I don't have time tonight. I've got things I've got to do tonight. I'd rather you just do it then, when it's a good, convenient time for you. So I'd rather you do it than not do it, but strive to do it in the morning or in the evening. I mostly do mine in the morning. Because that is when I've kind of programmed myself to do it, but I make the time to do it as well. And I truly enjoy doing it in the morning before I start my day. So that is when I do it. Now, I think that I have covered all of the things that I wanted to cover in today's episode. I just want to remind you that this tool will help to set you free. It will help to set you free from alcohol, free from the negative self-talk, free from the things that are holding you back in your life. It will help to set you free. I've got so many more tools to share with you as well as we move along throughout this podcast journey, but we're going to start with this. In one of the previous episodes, I also taught you all the above the line and the below the line, because I wanted you all to start becoming aware of your conscious thoughts. And we'll revisit that here again before Dry January ends, because it is another way to become aware of your conscious thoughts. When we are doing our mindfulness inside of the tool, so the mindfulness method, when we are doing the 10 minutes of that, we are starting to become aware of our unconscious thoughts. And those need to bubble to the top to be freed in order for us to free ourselves from the things that are holding us back. Those unconscious thoughts that are programmed inside of our mind from when we were a child, or from the things that we did repeatedly and we didn't even know that we were programming ourselves. So that, again, that's why this is so very, very important. And then what it helps us do is it helps us study ourselves. It helps us to go deep, and it helps us find out who we really are when we are mindful. And when we use these mindfulness tools, it helps us to know who we really are. It makes us better. It helps us understand how and why we tick. And it helps you understand what makes you happy to exist. Like, what makes you happy to exist? And you'll uncover the reasons why. And you'll uncover why you do the things that you do, and why you do them, and how you can change them. It'll help you uncover your purpose. If you don't think that you have a purpose in life right now, this will help you uncover your purpose. It will help you uncover your calling. There's a difference between our career and our calling, and we'll talk about that in the future, but it will help you uncover that. And it will also just help you be your most happy, healthiest, fulfilled, highest self person that you can think of. I mean, you will just feel so much joy when you wake up in the morning, and you will want to wake up every single morning just with a pep in your step and feeling amazing. And that is why I had to share this tool with you. So please consider using this starting tomorrow. And I have got something else planned for us tomorrow. I cannot wait to be here with you on episode number 27. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, wherever you're at. If you have any questions for me, come to my YouTube channel, put them down in the comments, or you can email me. I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. And I cannot wait to see you on tomorrow's episode. Until then, bye for now, and remember to shine bright.